Apple and SpaceX are teaming up for an exciting collaboration on an inspiring new project. This project is called the Inspiration 4 and is a first-of-a-kind space mission in which 4 private citizens will go to orbit on a 3-day mission, and Apple hardware will be a key part of the mission. So join us as we explore the Inspiration 4 mission and how this Apple and SpaceX partnership will play out. Before we talk about how Apple devices will be used in the Inspiration 4 mission, it's important to understand what exactly the mission is. The Inspiration 4 is a planned spaceflight mission with 4 crew members on board a SpaceX Crew Dragon vehicle called the Resilience. This mission will last 3 days before the Resilience comes back to Earth. The crew consists of 4 people that are private citizens, but they will receive proper training for the mission. Inspiration 4 will leave Earth from Kennedy Space Center's historic launch complex 39A. This is the same launch complex that was the embarkation point for the Apollo and Space Shuttle missions. The Inspiration 4 mission will fly across low Earth orbit on a multi-day journey. The mission is named Inspiration 4 in recognition of the 4-person crew that will raise awareness and funds for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. This milestone represents a new era for human spaceflight and exploration. The Crew Dragon capsule that will house the crew will be launched on a Falcon 9 rocket. The Falcon 9 is a reusable 2-stage rocket designed and manufactured by SpaceX. According to the Inspiration 4 website, the crew will travel 17,000 miles per hour. The mission is planned to last 3 days. The Dragon capsule will orbit the Earth for 3 days, going over 90% of Earth's population before coming back home to Earth. So where does Apple come in all of this? Well, the Inspiration 4 will be using a whole range of Apple devices for the mission. The devices include Series 6, iPhone 12 Pro, and iPad Mini 4. Each Inspiration 4 crew member will wear an Apple Watch Series 6 to collect data like ECG activity, movement, sleep, heart rate and rhythm, blood oxygen saturation, and cabin noise data. According to experts, the data that will be collected is research grade. Meanwhile, the Dragon capsule will also capture data on light intensity during the mission. Scientists will be collecting all of this data and then combining it all to get a better understanding of how the human body behaves in zero gravity. The mission is also going to explore how private citizens react and live for 3 days inside the spaceborne capsule. All of this data by the Apple Watch Series 6 will help researchers on the ground to evaluate the crew members' health and their state of mind. Crew members will also be using an iPhone 12 Pro as a data acquisition platform. The iPhone 12 will be connected to an ultrasound organ scanning system called the Butterfly iQ+. The Butterfly iQ+ is using an AI-based guidance system to help untrained professionals on how to scan for organs using an ultrasound machine. It is specifically designed for non-medical related crew members to use. Data from the iPhone will be used to help determine if non-medical experts can actually use the machine properly to acquire images that are clinical grade and useful without any help or support from the ground. It will also provide the secondary benefit of forming a biological timeline of each crew member's body as they go through the mission. These ultrasound images can be later used by experts to determine how regular people's bodies perform under the stresses of spaceflight. NASA also uses ultrasound imaging to keep a tab on crew members manning the International Space Station. This way, NASA has a good idea of how each crew member and their body is performing over time in microgravity. But this test will be different because it will not consist of expert astronauts that have trained their bodies to face these kinds of pressures. This is especially important since usually NASA astronauts undergo rigorous training to prepare for the stressful mission, but this will be the first time that private citizens would be on a space mission. The crew will be using the iPhone 12 and Butterfly iQ+ to collect data for the experts on the ground. The crew members will also be using the Apple's iPad Mini and the Cognition application to do cognitive evaluations. It is worth mentioning that NASA uses the same software for their scientific investigations as well. Other tests include the collection and examination of drops of blood using a vertical flow immunoassay or VFI device, balance and perception evaluations, and biomedical sample collections. The crew will also be performing other different biological experiments like sampling personal biomes and even swabbing the walls of the spacecraft. The neurocognitive performance study is led by Dr. Matthias Basner at the University of Pennsylvania Perelman School of Medicine. He will be evaluating the data. Even though it seems like the Inspiration 4 crew sample size is very small, data collected from the research study can be combined with data from participants on future private space flights as well. This will help us better understand how humans perform in spaceflight. SpaceX will be providing the Crew Dragon capsule, the Resilience, and the Falcon 9 rocket that will get the Inspiration 4 mission into orbit. Other than that, SpaceX will be doing things like training the crew, launching the team, and monitoring the mission as it progresses. SpaceX will serve as travel planners, airline autopilot, control tower, and return welcome party. SpaceX has already gone through the tedious process of removing the Crew Dragon's docking system. This docking system was designed to link the Crew Dragon with the International Space Station, but for this mission it is not needed. The docking system is instead replaced with a window dome-type structure to allow the crew to see around a bit better. So, we have been talking about the mission details and how Apple and SpaceX will play their role, but who exactly will be on board the Inspiration 4 mission? The Inspiration 4 will be manned by a 4-person crew, hence the 4 in the mission's name. All of them were selected for different aims, and according to the sponsor of this mission, they represent 4 different attributes that are leadership, hope, generosity, and prosperity. The first is Jared Isaacman, who is sponsoring the mission and the spacecraft commander. He is an experienced pilot with even qualifications for military jets. Jared is an American billionaire and founder of a payment processing company called Shift4 Payment. Shift4 Payments processes payments for over 200,000 businesses in the retail, hospitality, leisure, and restaurant industries. According to the latest numbers, Shift4 Payment is a $200 billion annual company. Jared purchased 2 more seats for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. This is because all the proceeds and donations from this project will go to St. Jude. This is one of the reasons Jared is financing the whole project. Those 2 seats will be filled by Haley Arsenault, a physician's assistant at St. Jude Hospital and former bone cancer patient herself. In fact, she was admitted and got treatment at the same hospital. The other is Christopher Sambrosky, who donated and participated in the raffle as part of an attempt to raise $200 million for the hospital. Sambrosky's raffle ticket was not selected, but a friend of his from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, who was initially selected to fly but declined for personal reasons, gave his seat to Sambrosky. He will be the mission specialist on the spaceflight. The last one is Dr. Sean Proctor, a geologist and pilot. She will be piloting the spacecraft. Dr. Proctor was selected from competition among entrepreneurs tasked with setting up online stores using Isaacman's Shift4 payment platform. She is currently a major in the Civil Air Patrol, where she serves as the Aerospace Education Officer for its Arizona wing. It is important to note that even though the crew consists of private citizens, that doesn't mean they will not be prepared to handle spaceflight. All the crew members are going through training and preparation. In fact, there is a 4-part docuseries on Netflix that documents their journey to the Inspiration 4 mission. The Inspiration 4 mission aims to raise $200 million for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Half of that has already been denoted by Jared Isaacman himself. But it is refreshing to see that 2 tech giants like Apple and SpaceX are coming together for such a good cause.